Hey, hello everyone. Welcome to a very important moment in time. I'm looking very much forward to sharing with you about this music app. But before we go into this, let's start with a prayer. So please mentally repeat after me. Divine Mother,
Divine Mother,
Heavenly Father, friend, beloved God, Jesus Christ, Babaji Krishna, Lahiri Mahashaya, Swami Sri Yukteswar, Paramahansa Yogananda, and saints of all religions, we humbly bow to you all. We invoke your presence into this gathering. Fill our hearts with your consciousness, with your joy, and with your love, that we may share you with all souls everywhere. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. So again, a very warm welcome to everyone who is joining. I want to welcome Nayaswami Jayaji, Nayaswami Dhyanaji, Nayaswami Aditya for joining. Thank you so much. We're so happy to have you here on this wonderful occasion where we are launching Swamiji's music for the world, for the entire world. We're bringing these vibrations to everyone. And now I want to invite Baraquiel and Shamini, hi Shamini, to play a chant for us, and we'll start with a chant. Welcome both of you.
Thank you so much, Shankar, and welcome everyone. And this is one of the chants you will be able to enjoy in the music app endlessly. Lord, I am thine, Prabhu mein tumhara. Let's celebrate together. Lord, I am thine, I am thine, I am thine. Lord, I am thine, I am thine. Lord, I am thine, I am thine, I am thine. Lord, I am thine, I am thine. Be thou mine, oh, be thou mine. Be thou mine, oh, be thou mine. I am thine, I am thine. Be thou mine, oh, be thou mine. Be thou mine, oh, be thou mine. I am thine, I am thine. Lord, I am thine, I am thine, I am thine. Lord, I am thine, I am thine. Lord, I am thine, I am thine, I am thine. Lord, I am thine, I am thine. Be thou mine, oh, be thou mine. Be thou mine, oh, be thou mine. I am thine, I am thine. Be thou mine, oh, be thou mine. Be thou mine, oh, be thou mine. I am thine, I am thine. Prabhu mein tumhara, mein tumhara, mein tumhara. Prabhu mein tumhara, tumhara. Prabhu mein tumhara, mein tumhara, mein tumhara. Prabhu mein tumhara, tumhara. हो जाओ मेरे, हो जाओ मेरे, हो जाओ मेरे, हो जाओ मेरे. प्रभु मैं तुम्हारा, तुम्हारा. हो जाओ मेरे, हो जाओ मेरे, हो जाओ मेरे, हो जाओ मेरे. प्रभु मैं तुम्हारा, तुम्हारा. प्रभु मैं तुम्हारा, मैं तुम्हारा, मैं तुम्हारा. प्रभु मैं तुम्हारा, तुम्हारा. प्रभु मैं तुम्हारा, मैं तुम्हारा, मैं तुम्हारा. प्रभु मैं तुम्हारा, तुम्हारा. हो जाओ मेरे, हो जाओ मेरे, Be thou mine, oh, be thou mine. I am thine, I am thine. I am thine, I am thine. I am thine, I am
Let's just take 20 seconds or so to receive and absorb the vibrations of that chant. Again, welcome everyone. We have friends joining us from all over the world, Sri Lanka, Europe, South Africa, and on the list goes. And this is the prediction that Paramahansa Yogananda gave, it's a part of it anyways, to Dr. Lewis, when he said, I tell you, doctor, it's going to be big. It's going to be big, doctor, I tell you. And we are now living in an age where we can share Master's consciousness, his vibration everywhere with everyone. And today is a big part of that, that we finally now have at each one of your fingertips, Swamiji's music. It's been a little disorganized in the past. It's been hard to find it ever since CDs went out the window. We did a good job on that. We had all of Swamiji's songs on CDs, but those days have come and gone. But now we finally have the app. Ashish, I'm going to request you right now, please post that again in the chat. If any of you here listening, don't be lazy. Press that button and download it, because you're receiving a great power by doing that. You're receiving Master's consciousness, Swamiji's consciousness, the power to change your mood at will, the power to take you deep into meditation. I'll let the others tell you more about the power that this has and how you can use it. I just want you to know it is free. So there's no excuse. Download that. It's free for 2 months. And then after that, there is an annual subscription fee. It's a token amount that is going to help us develop the app further. I have to say this. One of my friends the other day said, Shankara, I had a dream. Swamiji came to me and said, what is Shankara doing? And my friend said, he's helping with the app. And Swamiji in the dream said, very good, go call him. I want to talk to him about that. So this app is even going into the astral world, the causal world, and beyond. And Swamiji is pleased, and you please be part of this by listening and by sharing it also with your friends. The channel is blessed by that which flows through it. So please do share this with your friends. And before, if you came a few minutes earlier, we were listening to the song, Life is the Quest for Joy, that beautiful melody that this app is going to give you so much. It gives you instrumental music like that, sometimes when you don't want to listen to words, and that you can share the vibration with your friends who might not be on the path, that we don't have to have words about God and Lord and whatever, Krishna, Christ, whatever. Any situation you can play Life is the Quest for Joy. People will wonder, why am I feeling so joyful? Anyways, I want you to explore, to find your favorite chants, your favorite instrumental pieces, your favorite choir songs, children's songs. Don't be afraid of the children's songs. I wake up to them in the morning these days, and they are very cheerful. They help make me cheerful. So again, thank you to everyone. I want to give a special thanks to the people who like to stay in the back and do all the work on the computer and develop this thing and make it work. God bless all of you. Thank you to everyone who's developed this and made it happen. And now I've already gone over my time, so I'm going to hand it over to Jayaji. Welcome, Jayaji.
Now I'm unmuted. Thank you, Shankara. That was great. It really is something that can change one's life. I met Swamiji a long time ago, and when I met him, he was only 43. And he had started writing music only 3 years earlier. Now, of course, when he was a child, he learned to play instruments and he loved to sing, but he didn't compose because he was a monk in SRF in the monastery, and it just wasn't something that monks did. And it hadn't occurred to him. But when he was on his own, he realized, he desperately wanted to share Master's teachings. And he came up with the idea on a camping trip that he was in Yosemite Park that nobody is sharing these teachings in song. And immediately he began to put his attention to that. And he said it was as if the heavens had opened and songs began to come out of the ether to him, out down from the superconsciousness. And he had to stop he was driving and a song would come and he'd have to pull over, get a napkin and start writing down the songs. He says, one after the other, they started coming to him. It was like divine grace was coming. And so when I first met him, the very first time, the first thing he did at that session, it was a hatha yoga session at that early time in his career as on its own. He played the harmonium. It was "I am the bubble, make me the sea." Now that immediately, I was one of Master's chants, of course, but it immediately I thought, oh, this. I thought I was coming for a hatha yoga session, and first time meeting, and here he was playing music, and I thought, oh, that's nice. It gets in the mood, you might say. But later, he then gave a Raja Yoga discourse after the Hatha Yoga session. And as his wont in those days, he'd pull out his guitar and he would start playing these songs. And I thought, this didn't compute in my mind. I said, they sounded like campfire songs. They were great songs, things that other people could participate around the campfire. And I thought, this is yoga, and this is, I had this impression, of course, a yogi is, rather somewhat severe and stern, and he's certainly not singing songs like that. But it opened my heart. My reaction was, I like this man. Because it was touching my heart. And that is exactly what the purpose of music is. It touches the heart through vibration, not intellectually through the mind, but it comes very deeply into so you might say, into the heart center, and we feel. And he often would say, start your discourse, start your lectures, do a little bit of music, because it opens the heart. And when the heart is open, the audience is receptive. And I would go to his flat in those days. He was living in San Francisco. And he was at a sort of a point in his life where songs were just coming to him. And, it's often been said he composed about 350 different songs. And in those early days, many were just coming. And he would often start the discourse. He'd say, oh, I've just got a new song. Let me play it for you. And he would play it. And sometimes he would fumble with the guitar a little bit. And the words would change a little bit because he was working them out right on the spot. And it was so great and so fun to be able to hear that and participate in that. And again, it reached me in my heart. And I think the deeper level, of course, I didn't understand in those days what this was about. But I began to realize that in a little subtle ways, you'd hear these songs, and then you'd invite people to sing along with them. You listen to the music, you participate in the music, and you play the music if you have that ability, and it changes us. There's a certain level of consciousness, because it's not just campfire songs, as I had originally termed them. They were, as he liked to call them, they were philosophy in song. It's the words have meaning, deep, deep meaning. But it also, when you put words to music, to melodies, it somehow ingrains himself. It's like a mantra in a way. It begins to inwardly work upon our consciousness. And that is exactly why Swamiji was using these songs. It was to change consciousness. And you understand something on the heart level when it's presented through music. And Swamiji often said in his life, he said, if you want to know me, in other words, you might even say that as if you want to be in tune with me, although he didn't say it exactly like that, but he says, if you want to know me, listen to my music. And then because it's the heart, many things we can't express through words, but the pure vibrations of the heart can be expressed through music. And so Swamiji, you could say his career was launched as a musician, and he never had anticipated that. But between artistic expression through music and through arts, he was able to touch us on that level below the mental. And I think this is really what yoga needs. I think what philosophy needs. It needs heart. And because our age is very much, it's materialistic, yes, but it's also very rational. And we've pretty much pushed the rational into the forefront so much that it has not much further to go. And we need to bring that heart element. And for us who are devotees, and particularly for us who are devotees of this particular path, for Master too, music was an important element. And it's something, through the use of music, we can change our lives. And certainly if you're a musician, it's a sacred calling, because you can then play that music and you can be an instrument to help change other people's lives as well. So I want to thank everybody who, again, we're going to probably say this many times this morning or this evening. Thank you for putting this, something that we had talked about. And it's all in one place. And that, for me, that's important, being organized, because I would never be able to put it all together on my own. So God bless all of you. I turn it over now to Dianaji.
Good evening, everyone. And I'd like to ask Bara to play one of Swamiji's songs so we can feel the vibration, feel the uplifting energy of it. This particular song is Dark Eyes, one of Swamiji's deeper songs. So let's listen, and then we will hear an excerpt from a talk by Swamiji about music.
I've known them forever, they've haunted my slumber and called to me out of the deeps of space. The love that they promise has helped me remember another time, a caring embrace. Dark eyes in the morning, dark eyes in the evening, dark eyes in the starlight at end of day. Dark eyes that speak silence, they whisper, come find me. You'll never know true love if you stay. Now I seek them in the winter time, oh, I seek them in the spring. Those two dark eyes draw my heart away to where sun and moon sing. I laugh now in the summertime when ripples on the river play. I laugh soaring with the meadowlarks, love has made my heart gay. I laugh soaring with the meadowlarks, love has made my heart gay. I've known them forever, they've haunted my slumber and called to me out of the deeps of space. The love that they promise has helped me remember another time, a caring embrace. Dark eyes in the morning, dark eyes in the evening, dark eyes in the starlight at end of day. Dark eyes that speak silence, they whisper, come find me. You'll never know true love if you stay.
Now I seek them in the winter time, oh, I seek them in the spring. Those two dark eyes draw my heart away to where sun and moon sing. I laugh now in the summertime when ripples on the river play. I laugh soaring with the meadowlarks, love has made my heart gay. I laugh soaring with the meadowlarks, love has made my heart gay. I've known them forever, they've haunted my slumber and called to me out of the deeps of space. The love that they promise has helped me remember another time, a caring embrace. Another time, a caring embrace.
I think one of the most important aspects then of creativity is listening. Brahms said that those people who try to create with their minds will never be great composers. He said every great piece of music has to be heard. I don't mean literally you hear it necessarily, but you do hear it. I was working, and if I speak of what I've done, it's because it's what I know. It's a principle you can practice too. I'm not setting myself apart. I'm trying to say, look, everybody can do this. But I had an idea that came to me to write a choir of angels. It's called, in fact, Chant of Angels. And maybe if I have time, I'll play it later, but I don't know. The thing was that I heard it very clearly. I don't know chords. I don't know. I think there are millions of people who know more about music than I do. But I heard it. And so I could find the notes that I needed for each chord on the keyboard. And later, I wanted to write an organ piece for it. Well, I did that whole thing in a day, but the organ piece was less than half as long, and it took me days. I had the same, all the chords in front of me, everything in front of me, still it took me days. That's when I realized that I don't know how I did it, but it had to be something that came from a higher level. In fact, an interesting thing happened. There were 6 of our people. These chords are very difficult because they're very tight, very close. And 6 of our people were practicing it to sing it, and they were resting, and they weren't playing anything, they weren't singing anything. And suddenly, out of the air, a voice was heard singing a part of this. Life is a mission from on high. Life is a quest for inner joy. And 3 of them heard it. The other 3 didn't hear it. But it's as if the angels themselves tuned in and appreciated this music. Now, we have to understand that creativity comes from deeper than conscious levels if it's really creative. As Brahms was saying, you can't put it together. The mind, the intellect is good at separating, but it's not good at uniting. That vision, the superconscious vision, is unitive, but it works again through the filter of your consciousness, so that you can actually use that unitive power to create in lower ways, according to which chakra, if you will, the sound comes from, in the case of music, or the inspiration comes from. The lower parts of the spine are called, the centers in the spine are called chakras or centers, and the lower ones are more associated with material consciousness, sensual consciousness, lower consciousness. I mentioned the other evening to some of you a song that was very popular back in the 20s or 30s called Gloomy Sunday. It was banned finally from being played on the radio because too many people listening to it committed suicide. It pulled their mind so much down. So music has a power. Music more than any of the other creative arts. For example, you have a painting on a wall and it's reflected light. You turn the light out, you don't see the painting. Music, however, is a direct contact. And depending on the level of consciousness that a person is, he can even draw on that superconsciousness a touch of it, but filter it down through such a lower level that it becomes very negative energy. You can make people angry with music. You can make them egotistical and dominant and sensual and all sorts of different things. And unfortunately, negative art and negative creativity is a lot easier to produce than positive. It takes less energy, for one thing. For another, it's sort of like a hose. You know, well, let me put it this way. People like to write about anger or sensuality or violent emotions because they feel, well, they're alive, they're feeling high energy. That's not high energy. What they've done is like a hose. You can make the flow stronger by squeezing the tip of the hose. And so when you squeeze the heart and make it mean or nasty or so on, you can feel much more flow, but it's a disruptive, it's a disharmonious flow. The real way to increase the flow, of course, is to turn on the faucet, to increase the flow itself. And that comes in inspiration, by lifting your consciousness. A lot of music has a very negative quality to it. The music that you hear in cars sometimes, I was standing out on the street yesterday and somebody was driving by and the sound from his radio, I don't know how he could take it. I was outside the car. The only thing is that the window was open, but he was right there, surrounded by this this heavy rock, rap music. It's destructive. It's even been found that when they play this kind of music to plants, that within 2 weeks the plants die.
Well, I think Swamiji hit it there. I'm going to start with one short quote by Swamiji. Music is so much more than entertainment. It doesn't merely reflect a state of consciousness, it also generates it. And I think what we have is such a gift to the world, and especially at these troubled times. I think Swamiji wrote the music, Master helped him or blessed him or gave him his grace to be able to write these beautiful pieces of music, that this vibration can go out into the world and can help people and heal people and create harmony and uplift people and uplift their consciousness and change the station, so to speak, from this heavy duty music that people are listening to. I've gotten in people's cars who give me a lift somewhere and they were get in the car and the music comes on and I said, I know you're not listening to that. No, Dianaji, I'm not listening to that music. I said, well, it's on. It's on. And so I think we all have to take a reality check and change the station. We have it easily accessible now. And Swamiji, part of what he gave so much to the world, but all of the music, what a gift. Just think if we didn't have it. We didn't have the chants, if we didn't have the songs. I think it's a way to accelerate your spiritual progress. Listen to the music, play it in your car when the kids are crying or whatever, put it on so they can calm down. I've heard this from parents that the kids calm right down. If you're in a stressful feeling, play it in your car, in your house, or however you can, but use it as a tool to uplift consciousness. And Swamiji was always trying to get people to sing, and the chants he wanted you to sing, the songs he wanted you to sing. And I've been doing workshops in Gurgaon on the music It's powerful. People hear this other music, then they get to Swamiji's and they say, where can I find that? And I'm so glad now we can tell them easily they can find it here and there. I did a program with some children at one of the schools in Gurgaon. The children were singing, they wanted to sing, we have EFL principles, Education for Life, going into some of the schools in Gurgaon. And so Nitai and Aryavan invited me to come. So I went and they said, the children want to sing a song for you. So one of Swamiji's, I was just so happy. And it didn't really turn out that well. I mean, they tried, but it just was, the notes weren't just right. I said, that's nice, but let me give you the right notes. And so I said, I'll come for a number of weeks and help you to learn the songs. Those children love the songs, all the different children's songs and a couple of Christmas songs because it was Christmas time. Everywhere I've gone, people have just loved the songs. And we used to sing them all everywhere we could. The Swamiji would, I just can't explain to you how thrilled he was when he had a new song. And he would gather people because he would, maybe in a, what did they have in those days? Some kind of recorder. He would whistle the song, the melody, or hum it or something. And then he would play that for you and you'd go, that's interesting. But then when the whole piece was arranged, it was just stunning. And he would say, okay, let's chant this chant right now. Come on, everybody, let's chant it. And we'd chant that chant. Okay, now I've got a new song. Even if people couldn't sing, he'd have them trying to sing it. And then he was so happy. And he was like in another dimension, I just felt he was like in an astral realm or something, because he just was hearing songs and notes and he just looked different. His heart was open and he would just, he was different than when he was writing books. When he was writing books, that was a different vibe and bhav, but with the music, he was just floating and just so full of joy. And people, I think Master just sent people to help him. There was Derek Bell from the Chieftains who came. He was a harpist and various ones, David Miller, a keyboardist, and someone to direct the choir, and various people came, and they were, Swamiji and that music was a magnet, just whoop, they came in, and there was a music era, and we traveled around in the churches. He said, let's get this out in the church. I mean, he didn't want us to sit singing at Ananda Village. He said, get out, go over, sing, go to church, sing it. We had concerts at churches in America. We went throughout Europe singing with Swamiji often, and he would have us singing in front of the church. You know, if they couldn't get in the churches, they would sing in front. And, you know, we were kind of embarrassed. He said, don't be embarrassed, sing the songs. And people would walk by and stop and listen. And what is this music? And he started something that's really needed in our times. We even sang at the Vatican for the Pope at the time. And we sang Thy Light Within Us Shining. And that moment was a moment that I just think the heavens opened up. And it was just really, really inspiring. So this music it's a sacred gift. And for us, whenever we sing it, whenever we chant it, whenever we get in a choir and sing, we're putting that vibration out to others and to the ether. We're sending out harmony vibrations of harmony, of light, of peace, and people will feel it, even if they don't know quite what's going on. They feel that something's happening, and even if you feel like you can't sing that well, your voice will improve as you sing. So finally, I want to read something from about Swamiji's music. Says here, Ananda music began in 1964 when Swami Kriyananda was inspired to introduce a new kind of music to the world. Music that expresses spiritual aspiration and a desire for a more meaningful way of life. This music is, as its purpose suggests, quite simple, yet beautiful. Ananda music has been performed in many countries and inspired many thousands of people with a new and more uplifted view of life itself. I should add, we also won awards for the music. In some ways, it transcends even the best classical music of our culture, for it offers transcendent meaning instead of only describing a graceful way of life. At first, Swamiji wrote only songs with lyrics. Then he realized that words are not needed to express deep meaning. Thus, he has written instrumental works also, a piano sonata, string quartet, and other similar works. It's generally understood that music can have a powerful effect on mood and energy. It's less well known that positive and uplifting music can affect consciousness itself in positive and uplifting ways. Finally, Ananda music singers and musicians are dedicated, that's all of us, dedicated to raising awareness, not only of the general need for positive and uplifting music in our troubled world, but of a specific body of music that was composed for the exact purpose of raising energy, uplifting consciousness, and helping people. That is Ananda music. One woman wrote, "I've been listening to your music for the last week. It has made such a difference in my life. Thank you for sharing your amazing gifts with the world." I'll ask Bara now to introduce the app and to show it.
I'm just going to jump in here for 1 second before you show the app, Bara. I just want to welcome and acknowledge Narayanji, Dharma Devi ji. They're here joining us. Don't worry, you guys, you don't have to turn on your video. They're in California. It's early over here, but they are in charge of Crystal Clarity Publications based out of Ananda Village. And I want everyone to know that this has been a collaborative effort of both East and West, and that we are one united team all over the world. Hi, Narayanji. So it's just so wonderful to have you here. And I just wanted to thank you for all the work that you've put into this. He's been a driving force for years getting this going. And it's an honor to have you here with us. Thank you. Thank you, Narayan. Anything you want to say briefly, Narayanji?
No.
Okay, we're so glad you're here. Thank you, thank you. Okay, Bara, back over to you and you can show us the app.
Thank you so much. And thank you everyone for the wonderful inspiration. I'm just here to show you some of the more technical things about the app, which is really not much at all because it's a very simple app, but just in case, once you download the app, and Ashish will share once again the link, here you have it, the wonderful Ananda logo with the spiritual eye with the treble clef, the music sign. And once you go in, it will just simply ask you to register. And this registration is very simple, you'll see. So you can see here, it asks you to log in, but if you go down there, you see register. So you just tap on register, and then you enter your name, normal things. Mobile is an option, email address, and then password, which I'm going to change after this, of course. And it's important that you also select your country. And India, really it or not, I'm from India. And then you just register. And once you register, there it is right there, all the music at your fingertips, as we like to say. Now it's a very simple interface that you have here. And the more important one perhaps is here, the albums. When you slide to the side, you can see all the different albums that are currently available in the app. And they are about 30 or so right now. And very importantly to know, and of course the artist and genres and all that. Importantly, whenever you, let's say I want to listen to, since we were talking about some of these songs, let's just find this one, Life is a Quest for Joy. And this is all that playlist. And once you play one song, it will start playing, of course. And let's see if you can hear. Let me put the volume up. I hope you can hear it. But very importantly, if you want, you can also create your own playlist within the app. If you tap here, you can add it to your favorites, or you can add it to the playlist. So then later on, you can always find it very easily. Once you add them to the playlist, you simply here on the top left, you see there is a menu. And if you tap there, your favorites, your history, playlist, all comes here. So it's a very, very simple app. And some of you were asking about future additions. And for now, the plan is, we say there is a number of albums, but we are hoping to add maybe 1 to 2 albums every month. So to keep the app going fresh. And we will let you know whenever something gets added, so you perhaps get a chance to listen to it and to tune into this particular expression of the music that is being added. And there will be hopefully chants from all around the world, as well as, of course, Swamiji's voice, Swamiji's instrumental, and many, many other things. Remember that there is the first 2 months or 60 days are for free. And then there'll be a token amount that you pay once a year. And very importantly, to let you know that this app is not just going to stay like this. It will evolve over time. We hope to add many more things to it. And whatever income comes from this, it will just be reused in the app itself to improve it and to have more features that, of course, we'll let you know as we go on forward. And I think that's it from my side. So I'll invite Nadia Swami Aditya to take us forward.
Thank you, Barakil, and everyone. Namaste, friends. I think we are quite inspired already. And I just want to give you a little action item right now in the few minutes we have before we close with a prayer and blessing, that see if you can download the app now, or if you have already, just write a comment in the chat section that you have. We just want to announce the number that from those of us who are here, how many of us have downloaded. And I'll start with myself, that I have the app. Let me show it to you right here on my home screen. It's right here, little app over there. And while we're doing that, I want to read from Master's autobiography, just a few lines. Interestingly, he's written 4 pages to classical music, the benefits of music, how music as an art originated, and it's in the chapter the cauliflower robbery. You wouldn't guess it would be there, but that's where it is. And I'll read a couple lines from there. Master writes, the ancient rishis discovered these laws of sound alliance between nature and man. Because nature is an objectification of Om, the primal sound or vibratory word, man can obtain control over all natural manifestations through the use of certain mantras or chants. And then in the next page, Master writes, because man himself is an expression of the creative word, sound has the most potent and immediate effect on him, offering a way to remembrance of his divine origin. And in between, of course, in those 4 pages, Master is explaining how, because we find ourselves in the physical world, in nature, of course, as yogis, we are trying to work with energy, with our thoughts, and ultimately unite our consciousness with God. He says music can have an effect on all levels. I'm from the medical background, and I recently was thinking about music. We've had a few kirtans in Pune, and at each place we've been announcing the app also. And just to keep it fresh, I was thinking, how do I present it? And this thought came to me that maybe you can think of this app a little bit like a pharmacy. It's got hundreds of pieces of music. Ananda ji said each piece of music was received, as he said, from God, from very high consciousness. And he said it is in tune. He said he never put a note down on paper unless he felt it was in tune with Om. And why did I call it a pharmacy? You know, why think of it, let's say, as something on that level? Well, it can bring, of course, spiritual healing, but even on a physical level. Remember that story where Master was supposed to give a lecture in New York? Jayji was speaking about the times we live in, so rational, intellectual, we want to listen, we want to read, and that's wonderful. It's absolutely a part of our path. But Master decided just before he went on stage, he said, why don't I invite the New Yorkers to sing with me? And the organizer thought it wasn't a very good idea, but Master said, let's try it. And that's all they did. That's all they tried for an hour and a half. I think that story is an autobiography of a yogi. And Master said, many people came to him after that kirtan, that singing of that one chant. And he said, many healings happened that day. Many divine perceptions came to people that day. And that is what I was trying to share through that word. The other thing is, Swami did say that each piece of his music, and there's a project going on with a small team right now, he said each piece of music is an antidote to some emotional or spiritual, you might say, illness or disease, maybe even physical disease. I remember a very old talk of Swamiji where he said that somebody did this research, I believe it was in 1970s, and maybe a little bit like J.C. Bose was able to get a rhythm or a heartbeat even of plants and
Am I the only one who lost Aditya? Oh, he's back, I think. Let's see.
Can you hear
We'll
me?
give him a moment. Oh, yeah, you're
Sorry,
back. We can hear you.
you're out
Okay,
of
it's
power.
fine.
So I was sharing, friends, that over there, Swami was sharing that somebody found that when music is too chaotic, its rhythm is similar to the rhythm of cancer cells. And think about it. Just by playing that music for ourselves, for others, not only are we uplifting our consciousness, which is the main goal for the devotee, but perhaps, and I think now it's quite clear, sharing those vibrations, bringing harmony, coming back to Om rather than far away from it in some aberration. So I think much like every technique Master and Swami brought us, energization, Kriya Yoga, any form of meditation, I think music too, now that we have it all in one place, we have books on it, Swami's books on music, there is a book on songs. I think it's time for us to delve deeper in this, make a study of it, and share this as a gift with friends and others. So I'll just check the chat for a moment to see how many of us perhaps have it. And then we can all close with prayers. Any message?
Or Amit Purhit,
Quite a
maybe
few.
you could just say the number. Amit Purhit, do you know?
Yeah, it's 224.
Oh, wow. 224 downloads. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So friends, let's take a moment as we welcome this gift that has come through the publications team, Crystal Clarity, and this gift of music that came to each one of us and should reach out, as Swami would say, to everyone. Let us receive this gift with deep gratitude. Let's bring it in our daily lives, in our workplaces, homes, temples. Let's share this. And most importantly, let's share the consciousness that is behind this music. As Swami would say, it's not my music. God gave it to me. It is God's music. It's a gift from Divine Mother. Please join me in this prayer. Heavenly Father, Divine Mother, friend, beloved God, great masters of Kriya Yoga, Jesus Christ, Babaji Krishna, Lahiri Mahashaya, Swami Sri Yukteswar Ji, beloved Master, saints and sages of all religions, dearest Swamiji, we thank you for your presence in our lives, the tools and techniques and teachings you have brought to us, your grace and guidance. And today especially we thank you for the gift of your music. Just as you have spiritualized these chants and drawn yourself into God, May we too derive that experience in our daily lives. And may we serve as instruments for the blessings of your music. Thank you, Master. Thank you, Swamiji. Let's rub our hands together. Send this blessing out into the world. Om Shanti. Peace. Amen. Thank you, everybody.
Yes, again, thank you. Thank you, everyone. And again, Ashish, who's heading up Ananda India Publications, who's been a powerhouse in this as well. Thank you for everything. It's wonderful to have this energy flowing. Many blessings. Dhyanaji, Jayaji, any last words that you'd like to say?
I have none other than to enjoy the music and feel that it is changing your consciousness. And I think you'll see that that is happening. Feel it in the heart. Feel it in the heart.
And share with a friend.
Okay. Many blessings to all. Thank you all for joining.
We will keep the link open a little bit, playing some music. So if you haven't seen yet the download, you can do it from there. Ashish will share it once again.
Great. Okay. Bye-bye, everyone.